Oh. Oh.
Just waiting
Nope.
on YouTube.
It's there.
Hello to all you Patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 370 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada. We're recording on November the 8th, 2022. As always, my name is Andrew, and I have returned to be your host.
We need your help to support the Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist. Support small businesses. Buy a CPP t-shirt, just $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right. Always right.
This brings us to my favorite segment. It's called I Hope Dave Got His Audio Fixed. But we're going to do What Are We Drinking?
Hey.
No. We're going to do What Are You Drinking? No. Can't hear you at all. We're going to do What Are We Drinking? And an item from the Patriot Challenge that you've recently completed. And as is tradition, we'll start with Liz. Liz, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking some bourbon. You can't, I don't know, I can't really see it. There we go.
Hold it up to the microphone so I can smell it.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Cheers. Yep. Some bourbon, and one thing on the Patriot Challenge is I worked out today.
Sweet.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
Next.
Who's
Who's
next?
next? Do I just
You
can I
decide.
just pick
That's
anybody?
a Liz question. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ladies' choice, yeah. Pick.
Too many choices.
We're not going to
Benny,
all.
what are you drinking?
Working on some Sleeman Honey Brown lager. I'm learning how to sew and crochet a little bit. So, yeah.
Wife's putting you to work, eh?
I'm trying to learn how to do buttonholes, which you'd think is a simple thing, but no.
No.
Yeah.
You need to start with a simpler skill.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because like hemming is whatever. I'm throwing myself in the deep end.
Yeah.
But I need to get thinner
you need to learn the basics before you can learn the advanced stuff, Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am actually trying to sew myself a kippa out of jeans. So it's a little not too easy, but not too hard either.
Why does that kippa need a buttonhole?
Oh no, it doesn't. My other, like, in terms of hard skill, buttonhole, easy skill, built sewing a kippa.
Oh, got it.
I thought like maybe you had a way to like keep it on, or I was very confused.
That'd be true.
It's
the button to the back of his head, and
you do if you do put a buttonhole on the inside, you could put a one of those hair clips, and so it's hidden, so you don't see that it's being held on. So that I did do that, and it worked fine for that material. But when I tried to do it on a dress shirt, it didn't work. So I have to figure out what I'm doing wrong and get a better rating on. Like every third buttonhole sort of works. So
stop at 2.
Practice until you can't get it wrong, right? So that's what we're working on.
Nice.
I'm not sure that works in this situation, but I'll take it.
Well, you practice till you can't get it right, so you can't get it wrong. Let's go with Dave. Dave, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Bush. Just having a beer tonight. Been pretty good this week, so trying to stay good.
It's Monday. How have you
Well, lately, I should say, not this week. Lately,
this past week is, I think, what Dave meant to say. Not
we
this
consumed
current
a
week,
significant amount of beer, and your gun shelf is reasonably level. Like,
yeah, but like exactly, like we did work. We earned the beer.
Nice.
Okay.
Pierre, what are you drinking there? What is that concoction?
Buddy whiskey as always. Just straight whiskey tonight.
Wow.
Not kind of a Monday, eh?
No, so I mean it's every kind of Monday for me. But skill, I did good by being very friendly with management after voicing or not even voicing my concerns, but biting my tongue to not voice my initial concerns, which I'm working on how to word that so that I don't get charged or fired.
That's
I also went to a get together on the weekend by one of my my old boss, still with the company that I work for, but transitioned to a different department or whatever. We had a celebration of life at his place. He passed away about a month or so ago. So we went down there, met a bunch of people, had some chit chats. I had never met his wife and everything, but very happy to go there and good time, even though it was a very crappy situation to meet a bunch of people. So that was good. And also, as I mentioned before, had some people come down from the really high up hierarchy of the company I work for, supposed to come to Ottawa, and they didn't end up coming, but sourced out some extra weights in 40-pound weights that are very, very small and condensed for the ruck challenge coming up. So getting back into that because my leg's feeling better because I screwed it up a few weeks ago. So hoping to get that done this week. And yeah, that's about it. Gavin.
I am once again drinking water, working my way onto my 4th liter today, as per usual. It seems lately, as a skill I practice. Well, I was going to get my exercise in today, but then I had to go take the other half to the walk-in clinic for an ear infection, and then on the way home I got a call out for search and rescue, which they found as I was about a third of the way there, so I had to turn around. So I didn't get to do my workout for the day, but I am crushing my water goals and reading goals as per usual. So hopefully get some exercise in tomorrow. And did a bit of shooting over the weekend with some of the other members on the panel.
Before or after the beers?
Yes.
Always after. I mean, before. Sorry, I've had too much drink.
And he's got the hang of it.
Andrew, what are you drinking this evening?
Dyslexic has it going. Okay.
Oh,
I think Andrew's frozen again.
He's playing with his video.
It sounds very French.
Something about Putin's and flat tires.
I was gonna say you froze. Nobody knows what you said.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I got a warning from
Okay.
Zoom. My internets are not stable.
maybe that's my bad. I hit the HD button. I'll turn that off.
Dave just can't get enough of me in high definition. I also noticed that the color is all screwed up for some reason. Which
Yeah, you went like
I thought you did that on
high
purpose.
gain on the picture as well.
no, I tried to get rid of the awful spotlighting that I had going with the enormous reflection from my thick skull, and it
I thought you were
seems
just
to have
trying to
made
be
thi-
more
things
inclusive
worse.
since the panel was very white.
One more
today.
time. What were you drinking?
I think it's pronounced sortilage. It's a whiskey
Yes,
with
it
maple
is.
syrup in it.
That is exactly what it is. That shit hits
So-
hard.
Here we go. All right.
I want to drink a lot of it. It's
Yeah.
good.
It's really sweet though. I find it a little too sweet.
Yeah. I've used it for some cooking in the past where I like boiled it down.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's definitely a good look for you there, Andrew.
Oh.
Very red.
Okay.
Much
And
worse.
made like a glaze with the sortilege. It was excellent.
Just
Yeah,
reminds
it's
me of
very
some kind
Canadian.
of-
It is liquid candy and
Yeah.
it gets you drunk. It is amazing.
That all
Yeah.
depends. Is it a French thing? Because it's
Yeah.
not. It would
Based
be
on the name,
sortilège, not liege.
I'm gonna say it seems French.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that potato.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
is definitely
sortilege.
not German. That's for sure.
Sortilège. Yeah. Okay. We'll have the French class after. Sorry. Carry on.
It's maple syrup whiskey.
It's good. I'm enjoying it, and I think I've got 21 days now, or 22 days of 10,000 consecutive steps every day. I'm trying to get my
Nice.
fitness
Nice.
goal, and the dog and I are losing some weight together. The
There you
dog
go.
and I have been getting lots of walks in, and I'm counting my
See,
macros and measuring my calories. I got myself a little scale for my food. It's been very good.
See, but the problem with that is the dog needs to lose weight, but you control all the food the dog consumes.
You may think that, yes.
Okay.
The dog
a
is also
friend.
half pig.
He also has a friend feeding him snacks now.
Yeah. Dog's getting lots of snacks.
There you go. That'll happen. Nice.
So, I don't know what we're going to talk about. I have not read the news. There is no listener feedback. If you'd like to send us feedback, there's a thing
Yeah.
about that, but I'm skipping it this week.
What about feedback on our listeners? Can we give some?
Yes, if you would like to receive feedback on our listeners, you should come and attend a match wherein that I may berate you in person.
Yeah.
Ooh, we did do some of that this weekend.
Yes.
Should we talk about a shooting match?
We should talk about a shooting.
We
match.
should
Half the
talk a
panel
little
went
bit
to a
about
shooting
it.
match.
Yeah,
Can I
sure.
just come and be a peanut gallery sometime at a match? I have
course.
never
Yes.
been to one.
Absolutely.
I mean,
do that
for
too.
starters, you should come and like just shoot the match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
we have
At
guns.
the
We'll just-
Do
we'll put
I
them
have
in
an
your hands. Just pull the
invitation
trigger.
for you?
You show up.
There's
So
so many
what-
people just started speaking at the same time.
Yeah,
Do I
so-
have an invitation for you?
Oh no. Okay.
So what-
Benny
I'm
the
kidding.
salesman. What's going
know.
on?
I'll talk to you after the show.
Benny doesn't come to our
Benny's
matches
got
either.
something happening at your club.
Which one is my club?
That's why I said I'll talk after the show.
The one near you. Physically.
Milverton.
Oh, I actually did not renew my membership at Milverton.
Oh,
Okay,
uh-oh.
so question about the match. So I was
Yeah.
stupid, and when I got my gun license, I didn't get my restricted. Can we
Okay.
still shoot? So would I still be able to participate in the match that we are about to speak of in the near future?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's only one small detail that kind of people don't realize before
Yeah.
coming to the matches, and that has to do with the fact that it's on a military range. Your usual ATT for all CFO approved ranges does not apply here. You actually need a second one because all the rules are made up and the points don't matter. So you actually have to get a second ATT or a temporary ATT to go to the D&D range. It's a separate ATT.
So that wouldn't matter to me because, like I said, I don't have my restricted.
Okay,
But
so then
me
then
not-
just bring what you
Not
got.
having my restricted, but let's say we're talking a service pistol or a anything that requires anything that would be restricted.
Well,
Ah,
so for the
shit.
listeners at home, they're playing along. I think we're at the point
Yeah.
where we should mention that this is for ORA service pistol or CQC,
And he froze go.
right? There's a
Yeah.
reason why it's on my internet's all screwed up.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not your regular shooting match.
Okay.
Okay, but just curious in general, right? Okay, so what's the difference between your regular shooting match and a D&D one? Because I didn't get my restricted, and I mean at this point with
So
So
okay.
when-
freeze
like
and
government-
OIC might not be even worth
Yeah.
getting the restricted, but
So-
would there be a possibility of any point?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest difference, I guess, between like a match when we're shooting with the ORA or similar type organization at the military base is that although these types of matches do happen there, when you go shoot a regular shooting match, you're usually doing some sort of action pistol shooting or something like that. So IPSC, IDPA type matches. So, running around with a pistol and shooting at the targets and doing the things like that. In Quebec, they hold some of those at the military base because Quebec has really stupid gun laws where they can't like move forward with a pistol. Side to side is fine, but forward apparently is verboten.
Can you
But when
can you
you're
move
at-
backwards, like just do the match backwards?
I don't know if it's forward and backwards or just forward, but like so they hold their regular matches there, but when they do the provincials or nationals, they move it to the military base because all of a sudden those rules don't apply because federal rules versus provincial ones and so on and so forth. But the matches that we're talking about are a little bit different in that they are not sort of like a single person is standing there in front of some sort of obstacle course with targets. It is the same course of fire every time you shoot it, so that the thing doesn't change. So you can actually track your progress and skill. And it's sort of like
Yeah.
bullseye shooting, but a little bit more complicated.
You're using Herman the German and a few other targets. to be scored on, or as for the basis for the scoring. So it's like V5, 4, 3, 2 kind of deal, depending on the scoring zone that you're shooting at.
Yeah.
You know, and you're doing
Okay.
different things while shooting at these things.
I shot one once in Barrie. It was fun.
Yeah.
Or part of one.
Yeah, but there is no requirement for you to have a particular type of license to participate in a shooting match. At least not of this kind.
So to
If
put
you
the
d-
question in another form, could he shoot it with a PCC?
Yes.
Yes.
The
I got-
pistol part of it, you know
Allegedly.
enough people will bring you one. Like that's what happened to me this weekend. I borrowed Angela's firearm and I finished second. So, you know.
Yeah, but the crappy thing is I'm left-handed.
Yeah,
That's great.
well,
Well,
that
then
has
none
nothing to
should
do
have-
with your pistol.
I was gonna say,
but
is
so-
there
so-
left-handed
Speaking of-
pistols like there are
No, hold on.
scissors?
I was getting there. Well, okay, the scissors does matter. That's
I
a separate
know.
issue. Yeah. No, so right, like I know some of them you have to have started holster, this, that, like what competition was this compared to? Do you start on a from
No.
a holster? No?
Well, we don't
mean-
require a holster court qualification, and the way we've been hosting it is you have the holster, and when it goes in the holster, it's fully safe, and there's a guy going to be standing right beside you to make sure it's safe when it goes in and out of that holster. And then the match is actually just shot from a compressed ready up here, so
Yeah.
they're just punching out, doing what you're supposed to do, mag change, whatever, blah blah blah. And then when you're all said and done, all the shots that have been shot that need to be shot are shot. You're gonna get
Yeah.
proved saved, and then you're gonna put it back in to the holster nice and safely. There's gonna be no ammo in it. There's no hot holstering on the D&D range. That's another thing.
Okay, but so that plays the factor of why I was asking, because
Yeah, you don't need a
Probably
black
everybody-
badge. You don't need to
Yeah.
have any. Like if you
But-
go shoot RCMI stuff, I think you have to have like a club level.
So it
Third-
depends on what you're doing. So when
Yeah.
we're running RCMI events, depending on what it is, if you want to run our action shooting type stuff, then yes, you need our club level or alternate holster course, but you are drawing a hot handgun from a holster.
But
If we are doing other things, then no, you do not require that, and you can come participate in a pistol shooting event. But usually then it's just more plinking than anything else. But yeah, for these, like, because yeah, you're not drawing a hot handgun or holstering a hot handgun, you don't need to have any license whatsoever in order to participate in the thing. But if you're going to be bringing guns there, you should probably have one. If you don't have the appropriate ones and you're borrowing them, like, don't be the one bringing them. Make sure that the person bringing them for you does have the correct licensing. And if it requires a restricted, you need the separate magic piece of paper, because the D&D ranges are not covered by your regular ATT.
okay, so
So
that pretty much answers all my questions. Sorry for hogging a bunch of it.
No,
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 that-
I'm
those
interested.
are
I had
good.
no idea myself.
yeah,
Right,
that's
'cause-
why we're here.
Like and at the same time, right, like I wanted to get my restricted about like 3-4 months ago, and I saw how the trend was going with the government, that I'm like, you know, let's say, for example, if I did it 4 months ago, I still wouldn't get approval for, you know, upgrading from a non-restricted to a restricted firearms license. I'm like, what the fuck could I buy right now? Right.
short barreled rifles.
Yeah, I was gonna say really, really short semi-autos.
For now, I mean, I had like 4 months ago, I still wouldn't have my restricted, right? It's still what?
No,
8,
but
9 months?
I mean, this will dovetail later into it, but like, pistols are frozen now. Short barreled
exactly. It's like
rifles, short barreled rifles are still legally allowed to be bought, sold, and everything else. As of right
Yeah.
now, you can still go and buy a short Bren or a short B&T, because they are not pistols.
Yeah.
So there are
So-
things you could still buy with a restricted license that you could, in theory, shoot at certain places. But you would need an ATT to bring them to the base.
And apparently still wait until like 2024 to get them.
Well,
Right,
yeah,
so-
they're in the same.
Same boat as handguns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you know, like I said, I've been saying for a while, I shot myself in the foot. And I was like, I don't need my restricted. And that was a horrible idea because I've had my firearms license for
I
a few
mean-
years that if I, yeah. But, you know,
I think
but-
a lot of people are in that boat though, because
yeah,
you were talking earlier about somebody, you know, dealing with their application kind of being in and stuff. I have a friend, the same thing, and when he called, they said that he might as well be sitting and waiting for the 6 months. Because
Oh,
this
yeah.
paperwork
100
isn't gonna come in,
Yeah.
no, 100%,
Why isn't
right?
this
And I
paperwork
mean,
going to come in?
because the backlog is unreal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So, I mean, you know, me being stupid and being like, oh, I can save money because I'm like, oh, what do I need a restricted for? Right. Years ago, you know, but with the way everything's going, I'm like, you know, that kind of hampers me. I want to try a pistol competition, you know, I want to, like, I shot
So-
a handgun years ago, but I'm like, you know, I would like to get back into it. Same with, you know,
so
Mel and
even the other like leagues, so IDPA and IPSC, neither of those actually require you to have a license.
see, that's a debate I want to have with the gun club close to where I am. So,
No
range
debate.
day. But I went to range day, right? Support local. We went there, chit chatted, and they have open, I think it was steel challenges. So it's like, you know, 10 shots on steel, blah, 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 bring whatever the hell you want. So I'm like, well, we got semi-auto non-restricteds that maybe we could do this or whatever. And they had IPSC, I think it was.
Yep.
IPSC. I think, yeah, probably IPSC. Yeah, they were trying to get IDPA, but they had IPSC. And I was like, well, what is it for that? You know, asking because I've heard you guys
Yeah.
say that, like, whatever. And he's like, oh, you need your restricted. You don't need to own a weapon, but you need your restricted license before you can do anything.
No,
And I
they're
was
just
like-
wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll double check this
must have been talking
before
to a
having a
boomer.
giant
I-
argument
Unless
with
it's
someone.
their
but
gay club
Got
rules.
boomered real hard.
No.
Well,
I
whatever.
know
Then
people
their
that shoot
club
IPSC
is-
that don't have or did not have their restricted license. That is not a
But
requirement.
would that be like
you
gun,
even need a
would that be the range, or the gun club's rules though, that just haven't been updated?
Yeah, I mean, maybe,
Yeah.
but they sound pretty like rainbow flag oriented.
Well, it's probably
Maybe.
grandfathered rules. Like a lot of people are so afraid to mess with the regulations
mean,
at their gun club because they're like, we'll get shut down. That's their-
Possibly, but if they're the kind of
bitch for
club that
everything.
is allowing people to shoot IPSC, they can't
Yeah,
be.
like, I
that
can go there on
funny.
Wednesday nights
Well,
and like
I know
watch. Right.
Yeah.
They're like Wednesday nights, we do IPSC stuff. Show up, you got your license, like we'll show you, see if it's something you want to try.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But so
Like
I
to
gotta-
to participate in Ontario at the very least in an IPSC match, you need to have your black badge. That is it. That is the only requirement for you to shoot an IPSC match in Ontario.
And for a new person, what is a black badge?
well, I was
That
going
is
to ask:
the
is your
course that
RPAL
they make you
requirement?
take.
Is the
Nope.
RPAL requirement to get your black badge?
No,
Nope.
No,
No.
no.
like the
It's
hard
just
part
it'll be
is that,
very
like,
hard to get
yeah.
the black badge without your RPAL and a handgun to practice, because the black
And
badge
they're-
course is set up in such a way. you
That
need to be
depends on
fairly familiar-
how cute you are and how much you're willing to
Yeah.
spend time with me. Because then we could like come
Right.
to an agreement about like
Yeah.
me driving you
Well,
to the
there-
range and loading you a handgun. And
Well, yeah, I
you
mean,
had
I
me
don't
at
have
cute.
double
Have you
Ds
seen my beard?
as far as
there-
I know.
yeah, I'm not
so-
saying you're the kind of person I'd be willing to help. I'm
That's,
just saying
that's what I'm
that-
saying. I'm saying for Pierre, he clearly doesn't have double Ds. It'd be a little bit harder for him to sweet talk his way into using
So-
someone's pistol to
So what Dave's saying
proficient
is
enough.
I should
Yeah,
get Mel to
there are
sweet talk
there are
me.
minors
Yeah,
that
you need to Oakville
participate.
teacher yourself.
Yeah, there are minors that participate in IPSC. Minors can't have a restricted license. So
So I just
The
need to find
downside
some
is-
non-douchey place.
yeah, the downside is that like it's
Yes.
very hard for you, like we said, to participate in a pistol match if you can't transport your own pistol to and from the range. But if you happen to have a friend that goes and does the thing and is willing to lend you the pistol when you are there, you're
And
good
the
to
job
go.
description of a Hooters restaurant.
I never said
Or-
anything about short shorts or anything like that. I just said you had to be
Yeah.
good looking and we could
All
work out an
bonuses.
arrangement.
Or in theory, if you
We'll
did
get
have
you
your
drunk enough
restricted,
and you won't be able to tell, Andrew.
yeah, if you did have your restricted
mean-
license, you could borrow a pistol still.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll have more of a chat offline because
Although that might
very boring.
be
for
more
most people, I'm
difficult than
sure.
it sounds.
Yeah,
Because
but
ATTs are strange at times.
Well, I think going back to the ORA thing, or if you're using a military range for an event because you're part of an organization that has access to a D&D range, the reason that those ATTs are different is because D&D ranges are not approved under Section 29 of the Firearms Act, which is the thing that your ATT normally would deal with. And that's part of the reason why you can't run around in Quebec and do like cool gun stuff, because the Quebec CFO says that you can't.
It's also why
But-
you don't have to shroud steel in Ontario on a military range.
Right. Well, on any well, I shouldn't say any D&D range, because somewhere
Cowboy mesh.
someone will correct me, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
D&D has their own set of rules and their own ranges, and they are not approved under the Firearms Act, but we're still able to obtain ATTs to take our handguns and other restricted firearms there.
Yeah, well, firearm laws don't make any sense. So
No, why
Wait,
would they make any
what?
sense? That's
What?
The points don't matter.
do I have a story for you? No, sorry.
All firearms
That's-
laws are an infringement. But yeah, so it was a fun
Taxes.
match shooting at Herman the German.
Yep. My straight pull did not work so well. I'm more motivated than ever to assemble my
Redacted.
my redacted. Yes, that I have all the parts for now. So it'll be my little. There's no more matches for this year, but sad face. But I have all the parts. Should be able to put it all together. It'll be my little winter project, basically.
So
Excellent.
if you're if you're not going to shoot straight, always make sure you shoot right.
shoot often.
Yes.
well, I mean, does anybody we know
fast.
have issues with shooting the target, Gavin?
I mean, I had some issues at the latter part of the match because apparently when I went to go shoot modified prone, I somehow managed to unscrew my optic, so I was shooting 9 inches to the left.
He literally had a screw loose.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
Apparently, when you wear your gun on your hip that you lay on the ground with, that is not so good for the optic.
It's a
I
good thing to
specifically
know
remember
in,
making. I
Yeah.
specifically remember making a comment about make sure you lay on your hip and dig your optic into the ground.
I followed the directions.
You gotta just borrow a friend's gun and
Yeah.
shoot iron sights and just like.
I think I figured out what the problem was. I think there's a slight like in the Sig Romeo 1, they had that little optional shroud. I think the holes that the bolts pass through were a
Mhm.
little bit off on the shroud. So when I tightened everything down, they didn't tighten down into the frame enough, and they were just sort of binding on the optic plate. And when I put weight on it, it kind of shifted it enough that the whole thing just came loose.
So like you had to tighten the base and then the optic is what you're saying.
Well, no, I had to take the whole thing apart and get rid of the shroud and then just tighten the optic straight down to the slide.
Oh,
Well,
I'm really
that's-
glad that they stopped all of the handguns from being transferred, because we definitely
Yeah.
didn't have a match on the weekend where we specifically had a handgun match after we had a rifle and handgun match.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't a new purchase, right? So
No,
like,
But I shot-
multiple people were using new guns.
And
Yeah.
I shot
No,
one
no,
that
but-
wasn't even mine.
Yeah.
no, but I mean, like, it's not like a week old, right? So I mean, think about how many people that's saved.
Zero.
Mm,
Absolutely is none.
Precisely none.
Yeah,
I did- I
it's
did
because we all
receive-
had the extra magic piece of paper. That's
I did
Oh,
receive complaints about the magic pieces of paper, because there were some people that were struggling to get their ATTs.
yeah.
Yeah, we heard about it at length in the morning.
Right? Like, wouldn't it be awesome if I mean, okay, no, I'm not gonna-
Government just went away. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
No, that's sorry. I've had quite a bit of whiskey even before the show compared to what I've been drinking on the show. We will just carry on. Apologies.
I think you're in the right place to say whatever it is that you need to say.
Well, let's not.
This
say
isn't
that
Rumble.
because yeah.
Yes, no, I'm trying to work on my non.
Andrew hasn't started a Rumble account yet, so we're still restricted to.
I don't need any dating apps, Benny. I'm all set.
Yeah.
That's not what
Yeah.
Rumble is. That's Bumble.
No,
you're thinking
that's
of.
locals.
Rumble,
let me tell
Rumble,
Let me tell you about
Tinder,
Rumble.
Starbucks. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Grinder. I don't know.
Yeah. None of those sound good.
None of those. They go meet women at the range. Yeah,
Yes.
That's a funny joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Why? You're
occasionally.
all like shaking your head like that's a funny joke. Is there just not a lot of ladies at the
No.
range?
No,
There are not
no.
Oh,
a
is this
lot
like
of.
the
Three of us
equivalent
are married, one of us is in a committed relationship. That's why I was shaking my head.
I was like, what?
I mean,
That date is
Oh.
around
that's
the
the
corner.
even
Don't judge me.
if we went to the range and there were women to meet, that's why we wouldn't meet them. But there are hardly any to meet to begin with.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest problem.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, no, they're-
we did have women shooters at CQC and Service
We
Pistol
did.
this weekend.
Awesome.
We did.
Yes.
That's good. Because yeah, there seems to be that thing where, Mel, like I got my firearms license. I said, hey, I want my gun license and I wanted to start hunting a few years ago. She was like, I'm down. Can I do it with you? Sure. So we go hunting all the time together. Well, sometimes not together, but most of the time we go big game hunting at the same time, all that stuff. Hey, I want to go to the range, this, that. It's a thing we do together. We've gotten our daughter into it because I'm like, well, we go shooting. So yeah, I bought her that Savage Rascal, like gun that's like this
Excellent
big.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 22 bolt action single shot. She loves it. It's something we do as a family, but it's also something we can do together. And yeah, it's a hard thing to try and get women into the sport. And even if they want to or they do it, it's something they want to do like under the rug because there's such
Or they
a
want to
thing
do it
where-
like once. They like, I did it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it anymore, but they have no desire to go back, which is what
and the
happens
ones
to
that-
many women that I've brought. They
Yeah,
they do it. They want to get it off the bucket list, and then they're okay.
Maybe you need to
And
try
then there's-
different strategies. Taking women to the range and then they never come back. It's like
So I should
you
wear
know,
pants.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Eh,
No, but
maybe.
right. So it's not even that. It's like they enjoyed it and they had whatever. But there's a giant thing where it's like they can't convince one of their friends that's also a female, right? Because in most cases, women like to do stuff with other women as well as other genders of, they like to go to the range with the fox sometimes and
Implying
everything.
there's more than two.
I know. I was like,
that's why I
other
was laughing.
genders. I was like, where
Right,
are we
okay,
going
so-
here?
You can
Yeah,
kindly see yourself to the door, sir.
I've had a lot of whiskey before the show and in the show, right? But I mean, so it's the thing.
At
like,
any
it's like,
point,
hey,
I will
at
give my
one-
perspective on this.
All right,
right,
Pierre, let the
so-
woman give her perspective.
No, but
okay,
Garrett,
I
you keep
wasn't
going.
done, but sure.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
sorry,
almost
sorry.
done. You go.
Dave said I wasn't allowed.
Oh, stop
anymore.
crying. Go.
Okay, thank you. So some people will enjoy it, but when they try and convince one of their friends to come, they're like, well, I don't want to do that. So you get someone that kind of enjoys to go to the range and said, you know what, that was a cool experience. I want to experience it more and get more into it, whether they go full bore, spend 20K in gear, or it's just something they like to do once a month. If they can't convince their friends to go and they're like, I don't like going to the range because it's all these other men, and whether some people are douchebags or they're just like, I feel out of place, that you probably have a lot of people that are, I
Pansy
want to
boomers.
do this, but I don't have the friend support because some people don't like meeting new people. They don't like making new friends and all that stuff. So I'm like, you probably lose part of that in that whole transition of the shit show of human society.
Fair.
Fair.
I don't know. I can't speak for being a woman at a range, but I can speak for being at a range with women at it, and it doesn't seem like a good time because, man, I have never seen so many people give so much terrible advice as when there is a woman present.
So that is
That's the other
actually
thing.
where my thoughts are. So
Well, I don't think
anytime
that's specifically a range thing. I think that's just a that's
No.
just
I
Women
think
thing.
it's a dude thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a dude thing depending on
they're
the scenario
mansplaining the
and
gun
situation.
shooting.
So
Well,
it's
I don't
pretty
think it's just guns, though.
intimidating. Also true. Mansplaining is just a thing in general that they do. And by
Hey,
they, I
Liz, we're
mean
trying to
you.
explain this. Would you just listen and let us get on?
I got the patience of Job, bro, but you know. No, pretty much it's from my perspective. It doesn't matter how much you like as a female who's shot a gun since I was young. It doesn't matter. Like it's intimidating to go to a range where 95% of the time everybody knows more than you do about your firearm and their firearms and has no problem telling you that they know more about it. And it's also just
Yeah.
like sometimes no, but it's also just like uncomfortable. Like
No, I
sometimes
can
people are
I can
always
understand
coming
that.
in. Like imagine being the person who's okay to set the scene, and I'm gonna use exaggeration, but like imagine being a person who has never been to a range before. You know, you've only shot a 22, you go in and you have no experience as a dude. How would you feel if like 5 other dudes came up to you and pretty much said like, oh, you got to hold it this way, you got to do this, you got to do that, right? Like you'd kind of feel like a dick. Like you'd just be
No,
like, feel pretty
we have
shitty.
balls of
Touch my
steel.
ass.
We have balls of steels. I got advice from the Cabela's guy.
No,
I
you
know
don't have
everything.
balls of steel. You would have an ego problem, hard and fast. Okay. Well,
But that's
Yeah,
partly why we
most-
just don't give a fuck because we have ego problems, so we
Right,
don't listen to them.
well-
I
Or
think
we
it
just
might
go,
be.
okay, boomer, 2
Yeah.
world wars. I get it.
but you know what? So I've had some
Yeah.
people say some things that are just like, yeah, I get it. And you know, like I don't know a lot about guns and I don't keep up with this kind of stuff as much as maybe everybody else does. But I guess you know, you have to have a pretty stiff spine to be willing to walk in
Yeah.
there and be treated like you don't know as much, which you already are aware of, but then
Yeah.
also have like a whole bunch of dudes try and mansplain like, oh, hey, you know, you shouldn't
Everything,
stand
yeah.
like that. Well, bro,
Yeah.
like you probably
mean-
shouldn't open your mouth
So-
or smile because it's gross, but like whatever.
And that's why they came up, because they want to be friendly and they see a woman coming to the range and they want to.
Yes, they
Maybe.
want to be friendly. That's right.
Yeah,
Like
is
a
that the word
dog.
we're
Yes.
using? Because I'm
Do you
pretty
want
sure
my-
that most interactions I've had with dudes at the range are like, oh no, I just want to tell you how to do what you're doing. I mean, you
Well, maybe
passed the
that's-
range safety course, so inevitably I know that you're allowed to do what you're doing, but I need to tell you that you need to do it better.
Do you want my personal
yes.
advice on how to keep people away from you?
Well, I
Don't
just gonna
shower
stop.
for
I was gonna say
The
stop wearing
beard?
deodorant.
Is it the beard?
no.
Yeah.
Stop showering. Don't shower a week before going. Shit yourself before going.
That's disgusting. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
I wouldn't want to
I
be near
didn't say
myself.
It was a clean way of getting people
There's
away
better
from you.
ways, like such better ways.
That's
The last
the
time I
easiest
just
way.
the last time I
Ugh.
really just called somebody out and told them to stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Nice, good.
Unfortunately, he
think
happened to be the
that's-
I mean,
straight-
it's
the
annoying that
president
that
of the
has to happen.
association, But
He
Mm.
said,
Yeah.
Pierre did say it before though, but yeah, one of the easiest things is just have a range buddy. That's
yeah.
You're gonna
usually how
say
you keep.
yourself.
So here's the thing,
Pierre
though.
said
that,
shit
You guys
yourself.
can shit yourselves together on the way there. But yeah,
So, but
But-
here's the thing: is that I don't
It's a
think the
runner-up
range
for episode
buddy
title.
has to be another girl.
But-
no, absolutely not. Just
No,
bring
no,
It doesn't have to be.
whoever's a friend.
That's right.
And that
Yeah.
way you converse with each
Mhm.
other, and it keeps you into like a okay, they're busy, consorting with each other. They don't.
Yeah.
need to
And
talk to
if you're looking for a range friend, I have pistols in a truck.
That's true. We're
Don't
actually
tease me.
probably closer now. Yes. No, I don't know.
Yes.
Um,
Don't
Yeah.
don't tease me.
No, they're
And
further
down.
now from you, Pierre.
They're further
They're-
from
they're-
from
I
you. They're
didn't.
closer
I didn't
to
ask
me.
for
we're-
logistics.
yeah,
I
we're
didn't
talking-
ask for
we're talking-
logistics.
I'm
I
talking
was
about
just saying the
Liz.
way they're talking.
Yeah.
Don't tease me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to make the drive to
What's up,
the part of
buddy?
Ontario,
Yeah.
oh, I
Lower
didn't think about it
Ontario.
like that.
I
don't
didn't
wanna be
hear what
Pierre's
Benny
poop
said,
buddy.
but-
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I was like, bro.
I mean, we're not gonna take
Oh my
my vehicle to the range, but trust me,
mean-
bro, I'm a good range
Funny
buddy.
story. There's 2 green rockets at the range that Dave and Gavin and I were at this weekend. And the door on the one has got a little bit of a trick to it. You have to sort of be aggressive when you close it. So the option was poop alone or poop with friends. And somebody chose poop with friends.
Oh no.
It was not me.
I was in the parking lot. I thought it was very entertaining.
Oh, they didn't lock it
Well, they didn't lock it
well enough.
well enough to keep it closed. It was in the locked position, but it wasn't actually like preventing the door
Who
from
grabs
opening.
at it like it's clearly red?
But it was openable, you see.
Yeah, but so it depends. Is it a porta potty? Because some people, as they close it, they can flick that switch where it's red, but it's not locked.
So glad we're talking about this.
Well,
What,
I meant
welcome to the
shit
range.
yourself before going to the range
Yeah.
or
yeah.
at the range.
I followed the bunny trail even though I didn't want to, and I just
Is
feel
that
like
what
it
that
was
is?
leading to a cliff, a steep cliff, and we were just gonna fall off of it. But
See, but if you went to the
yes,
range
I would
more
like
often,
to go.
you would
to
shoot
s-
the bunny before you got to the cliff, and you would have
Okay.
stew that.
Well,
Do you
I'm
shoot-
o-
do you-
I do
do you shoot
okay
shotgun?
with the range, but what? Sorry, what? Mhm.
You shoot shotgun like skeet clay? Anything?
I have in the past, and I also have a wonderful 12 gauge. I'm also doing some pheasant hunting
Nice.
Ooh.
next week.
I'm trying to organize
Oh.
a shoot with my buddy. He really wants to come to Galt to do sporting
Ah.
clays, so I'm trying to get that figured out.
I'd
Trying to-
I'd shoot some sporting clays. Sporting clays
Yeah.
is a good time.
Sporting clays
Very
is like
low
golf.
investment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like golf, but for men. Like you
Or-
go
or
to
women.
different
Or women.
stations and women.
Or women.
You know, for people that like actually like like
People
playing
kind.
real
Balls?
real sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah, real
I-
sports.
I
Go to
need a
different-
tweed outfit though if I really need to get into sporting clays.
A tweed
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah, you go to different stations and then you have like random clays that come like out of the bush.
Right.
I
We
would
have
totally
like
do that.
rabbit runners and all
I,
kinds of cool
I would
stuff.
also
And
go shoot pheasants in the face.
that too.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
100%,
I'll send you the
100%.
dates. It's in Stratford. You got to come this way, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I
out of
will.
Stratford.
I will drive the hour and change to shoot pheasants in the face.
How many what are they charging per pheasant?
I think so my buddy has a Springer Spaniel. He trains them as bird dogs and does
Yeah.
competitions and
Yeah,
stuff.
pointers.
Yeah, them things.
Yeah.
So the bunch of us are actually going, and he said it's free.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's just outside of Stratford.
Holy
So
shit.
that's
Damn,
Sweet.
I let my
this-
hunting license what's it called expire.
That's
You
the
know,
way-
that's
Only
it.
there was
That's
some way you
the
could
online
renew
thing.
that.
Yeah, it's like 30
If
seconds on
only.
Ontario
Yeah,
hunting.
because as soon as you do the safety course, it doesn't
Yeah.
really technically expire.
I have
Yeah, you
let
just
my
gotta buy
hunting
tags,
license
yeah.
lapse multiple times. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like you.
Wait, you guys
kind
get
of-
licenses?
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
have to kinda let it
unless
lapse.
it's on my
Like-
property.
There is no like way to just like renew it until it expires. So
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, the card can expire, and then you gotta
Yeah.
order a new card.
Which
and
that is the
Well, that's what. Yeah.
So
Dumbest
we're all
thing ever.
talking. So we're all talking small game license because pheasant falls under small
Yeah,
game license
yes,
for hunting.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So when you get your outdoors card, you can also get, so your outdoor card is valid for 3 years. So right off the get go, you can get 3-year outdoor card and 3-year small game, which is give or take $40, I think.
And use your
Yeah.
veteran status to get your free fishing license.
yeah.
Also, if you have a handicap parking spot, a free fishing license with it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You also,
I wonder if I can get a
I
free parking spot with my veteran's license.
was gonna say veterans can get
Just
free
ask.
hunting licenses
Yeah.
usually as well.
Yeah. So, right. So, I mean, yeah, it falls under small game, which covers a
Yeah,
bunch of
but
stuff.
can I get a parking pass so I can park near the door? Because I'm lazy.
The $10
well,
fee
I
for
also,
the
I,
card
you're also
though,
my
is a
ride now,
total
so
money
I can
grab.
also park near near the door.
All of it is a money grab. Why do I gotta?
Oh,
pay
I know,
to
but like
fucking-
you can have your outdoors card that's valid without having a valid fishing license or hunting license. Like
Truth.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the stupidest thing ever.
So are
Yeah.
you allowed to use the outdoors?
Okay, but so
But you
Your
can do
outdoors
that
card is
without
like
having
the
an
file
outdoors
folder
card.
where all of your
If
certificates
it pleases
are
the
held.
crown.
see, but that's the thing. You don't. The outdoor card gives you nothing unless you get your hunting or your fishing license. So the fact that they charge for it and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna pay for this, but it gave me nothing, tells me a lot about you that I don't want to be around you.
Right.
Yeah, I'd
Yes.
shoot a pheasant in the face.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I also have a pretty sweet
Oh, careful. Dave's going to give you tips.
no. I have a pretty sweet way to cook them. I have a good recipe. That's
It's
all I'm gonna
cooking
say.
tips are still tips, Dave. That's
Okay,
I'm not giving her the tip. This
above
is for everybody.
tips.
This is
I
for
am not
everybody.
above tips.
unsolicited cooking advice, Dave. Nobody wants.
It's a buttermilk sriracha. Like, come on.
You
Like I
lost
said all
me
the
at
magic
sriracha.
words here.
Okay, but what do I do with the left half of the bird?
Left half.
Well, yeah, I
Just
only
do
want
the
the right
recipe,
wings.
but backwards.
You only
'cause
want
it's
the
left.
right wings. You can give those to Liz. I don't know.
What?
I'll take them.
Okay, we're sending him. We're gonna airmail him to
Here.
Pierre.
Yeah, fucking right, buddy. I eat squirrel.
You eat left wings.
I eat
What's
squirrel.
wrong with the left wing?
They're
wrong
left.
with
Right wing's
where
only.
do we
Communists.
get started? Yeah.
Oh, I
Have
get
you-
it
is this
now.
your first time on the show?
Yeah, like, right. Follow
And
the
this
link
is why
on the right.
mansplaining
Always
happens.
go-
This is why mansplaining
I mean,
happens.
So is it
I
our
don't-
fault or your fault or your
right
gender's
now,
fault?
I'm gonna blame it on this.
I'm going
Okay.
to blame the whiskey. I do feel like, unlike many of the shooting sports, I feel like the shotgun sports, you're not going to generally get a lot of advice unless you go and ask people.
Mhm.
My experience is
fair.
the shotgun sports are generally like you queue up with your group of people.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anybody, they just slot you into an
Yeah.
existing squad, and they don't really talk to you because they already all know each other.
Yeah. 4 out of the
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
people are already good friends. and
I
you're
have
just
found
a weirdo.
shotgunning. Yeah, I have found shotgunning is somewhat clicky. Am I
Yeah.
saying it
Well, that's
right?
what I mean, but it's not
Yeah.
like they're not going out of their way to be like, you excuse me, madam, you're
You missed
holding
the
that
bird.
12 gauge incorrectly.
And you miss
If
the
you-
bird.
Right. Like, no,
No
because
shit,
it's
Sherlock.
right. That's what I mean. Like, they don't really, I haven't really had a
Yeah.
lot of occasions where I've been doing clay sports and somebody's been like giving anyone advice because they're busy like trying not to fuck up themselves.
So honestly, though, like advice is always good if you're doing something like kind of stupid, but the average person is gonna ask if they, well, maybe not.
I thought you were
Well,
going
I
to
mean,
say the
I
average.
I think-
100%
it's-
definitely.
I think
Sorry,
it's
go
one
ahead,
thing
Dave.
to be getting advice from, say, you come say sporting clays with us, for instance, and
Yeah.
you know, you're missing a bunch. I think it's one thing for me to give you a couple tips or pointers, be like,
Sure.
hey, try this,
Yeah.
as opposed to some rando you don't know coming up to you, be like, well, you see, Missy, you were doing this,
eh,
this, and this, and you know,
You need a
whatever.
16 gauge. That gun's too big for you.
yeah, that gun's no good for
Yeah.
you.
Nobody is ever gonna say that to me.
But I mean, a lot
Well,
of
we'll
it
just
is
keep getting you progressively larger guns until they do.
I've shot a 50 cal before. That packed a punch.
I'm-
I mean, a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
not
then,
people
gonna
are
lie,
just-
but
little
then the
jealous.
people saying that's too big for you are going to be the RCMP when they say you can't shoot that anymore.
yeah, it's a different. That's too big for you because that's a legal thing then.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of it is like, there's nothing wrong with giving people advice if you see them struggling with something or giving them a hand.
Yeah.
But it's all in how you approach the situation. So
Yeah.
much like everything else, don't be a dick.
Yeah, like
I
I mean,
mean,
then
life goes
if you're
so
if
much
you're
easier.
if you're a stranger, like, you know, ask, be like, hey, could I give you a couple pointers? Not, you know,
And
tell.
be
starters.
constructive about it and polite, and
It
don't
depends.
just don't be a dick. But yeah,
Well, I just think that
Depends.
it's like it's already an industry that girls aren't into as much, right?
Yeah.
So then,
And that's
Sure.
when
that's
you-
really disappointing for me.
yeah.
So you should 100%. So we should
Hey,
start
Andrew's
selling.
stuck hanging out with Dave and I.
okay. So I should 100% what?
So we should just start orienting. If you buy a shotgun, you get a thong.
What the
No.
hell?
Why not?
No.
We might get more chicks in.
No,
I
No.
don't
Why
think
not?
your
No.
offer of free underpants is going to bring anybody
it's
in.
about the same.
You
level
have not
as
met the
shit
ladies I
yourself
hang out with.
system.
Yeah.
I have, and I still don't think that you buying a thong is gonna cut it.
Buddy, I don't
Well,
buy
It
it.
might.
Thong might cut
Tuned
me
out
in
for
half.
2
That's-
seconds. What did I miss?
I am
Funny things.
Pierre
No,
for
but
Pierre
don't
thinks
don't finish
lingerie
that
will
because
bring
I
the ladies
there
in.
there was a too much of a delay. Don't finish that, please, Andrew, because I don't even know where that's
I was going to
going.
say prime minister. It's a shotgun in
no.
every hand and a thong on every butt.
$20 is $20,
maybe?
buddy.
I was gonna say, no.
Gives you that extra
No.
extra
No.
movement for
But
the
it-
layups. If anyone gets
Right,
that
but-
reference.
That whole debate about getting people into the gun culture in Canada, which
I mean,
I mean-
really, we should have just gotten more people into the gun culture earlier. But for the people
Yeah.
that still are in
So there was-
having the ability to shoot, go ahead, Liz.
There was a really, I am good one, thank you. There was a really good program over at East Elgin when I was a kid, and this is how we got into it. Is that on Friday nights there was a couple of ladies actually that were like, I don't know, I think that they were competitive shooters, but they would teach kids how to use 22s every Friday night. So you'd pay like $25 and you would get something like, you get like 3 like rounds of
Yeah, like-
5 shots. Okay, so everybody would just like be hanging out in the clubhouse and you'd cycle through, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you'd be there for a couple hours, but it was a really good, like, my parents took us because they were like, yeah, we want you guys all know how to, at least be comfortable. But it was all like prone stuff, and it stuff like that is like really good. It gets people just comfortable being at the range and like
Yeah.
being involved with stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
people
Mhm.
also understand that guns are like in the movies where you can shoot like 800 people and everything with, a
Yeah.
Beretta.
We really needed to
handgun.
have more.
Do they
of
still do like the
those-
cadets air rifles like at Guelph? Do they still do that?
Not at Guelph, but the cadet program does run an air rifle marksmanship program at a national
Yeah.
level, which actually feeds very much into the Olympic program through the ISSF, I think, is the organization that's responsible for that.
Yeah, something like that.
But
But
so
I mean,
also-
you
20
need
meter
more.
air rifle.
Like signing up for the cadets is sort of a military type thing, so it's kind of makes sense that the shooty stuff is part of it. But like, we need more like kids camps that do more than
Mhm.
just archery. Like if they did air guns as well, or like
Real
other
guns.
programs that that got
Children should have machine guns. Children are small, guns are heavy. Machine guns
Yeah.
are crew served. It encourages teamwork.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But they
But
still
like
have
we
to
should have
get it
had
there.
more of these programs. Like it's great that they've started popping up, and a lot of like ladies' range days have been a thing now, trying to get more women into the shooting sports. But it should have happened like 30 years ago.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
like-
okay. Just straight up, you guys, your dreams of having hot chicks on the range all the time, you're just gonna have to die.
no.
That's
sorry,
not true at all.
No,
You've
there's
mistaken
always hope.
If
me having
Pierre
the
gets
property.
drunk enough, he will probably put his thong on for you, Andrew, and wander around with
Yeah.
a big
I
gun,
mean, she's-
and then you'll feel.
she's
maybe
not
he'll
wrong.
even,
You're
like,
assuming
stuff a
he doesn't
bra
have
for
one
you.
on right now.
You're assuming I'm wearing pants.
It's true.
But
Just
Oh,
remind me when
boy.
Pierre comes to town to go shooting, I just want to stay away from the range. Poop buddies, thongs. That's one range experience I don't need.
I mean, it
Until
would be
you've
one
had
for
it,
the
buddy.
history.
Title of the
books.
show: Poop Buddies and Thongs.
I don't know.
No, but
Title
at
of
the
Pierre's
same
sex
time,
tape.
so at the same time, I did cadets from the time I was 12 to the time I was the day I turned 19, because you can't turn after 19.
They kick you
I
out.
did. Yeah, they
They
say like
physically removed you.
yeah, it's no longer a thing. That day I turned 19 was the last day I did cadets or whatever. So I mean, it's not a bad thing. So it has changed since the time I was in there. There's a lot of good in it. You do learn the basic of marksmanship if you go through whatever. I did staff cadet for the CL course, which is I don't even fucking remember what it stands for, but it was you did SEAL Basic, which was 2 3-week courses. They had 200 people on each course, and then the top 120 went to CL course, which was 6 weeks, lots of shooting, this, that. And the top 60, I think it was, or 60 or 80, they went to another 6-week course, and the top 6 people went to compete in the actual Bisley competition. And that was done at Connaught Ranges. They shot, I don't even remember the rifle because I wasn't on that side of whatever. I was the one that was giving them shit because they were too lazy to do anything else. But you were at Connaught, you're shooting 1,000 yards, and you actually go to Bisley if you get in the top 8 shots of this.
Nice.
Like the actual Bisley competition as a fucking 16, 17-year-old, because you're not a dipshit with a rifle. Right? Like there are advantages. I don't know if that actually still happens because
So
my sister
For-
still does
For-
cadets as a CIC,
For-
and
for
Go
the
ahead.
listeners, Bisley is a kind of a big deal, and I feel like we just kind of glossed over it. What is Bisley? Where is Bisley?
Bisley
Well,
is a
all I know is that
giant-
place is fire. Too soon?
To
'Cause
Mecca.
They just had a big fire.
So Bisley is a giant shooting competition, international. Like these people that are
Where is it?
under 19 are going to national competitions for up to 1,000-yard shooting range.
It's in Britain.
So you'll
I
have
was gonna
everybody
say
knows.
that's
I was
the
gonna say,
UK.
isn't it in England?
Okay.
It's an
Yes.
international shooting
To
competition
Britain.
in England
It's
that
an
as a teenager
international.
you can get to if you shoot really
It
well.
is-
This looks super cool though.
It
Looking at
is
the website.
possibly the most prestigious
Yeah.
like rifle shooting competition in the
So-
world. It is
Yeah.
like the home
Legendary.
of military rifle shooting, basically.
Yeah.
So
Precision
the
rifle, F class,
Yeah.
target
best
rifle.
part
that
of all
stuff.
this is if you're not a complete tool from the age you were 12 to the day you turn 19, you can actually get paid to do this. It's not a lot, but also you get fed 3 meals a day. So if you get qualified to go to Bisley, they pay for everything. You don't pay a dime unless you want to buy anything other than your room, your board, your 3 meals a day are 100% paid. Your flight there, your flight back are paid. Now, we're also talking about me doing cadets. Like, I don't want to do math right now because how much I've had to drink, but like easily 15, 16 years ago, my sister that's younger than me is still, or she was until she moved away. She was a CIC officer. She did a bunch of stuff and everything. So they have changed the program because, people
Do you know
have
what the
gotten,
biggest
like-
change in the program with the cadets is right now? They're all hosted in federal buildings. So if your child is
No.
not vaccinated, they
No,
can't
they're not.
participate.
Not
Well, some of them
necessarily.
are. Some of them are.
Some might be.
Yeah.
So the cadets out, well, the closest place that has cadets close to me is in a municipal building.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, but even
Municipal,
now, depending
federal.
on
you
no.
depends on the municipality.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but right. So I mean, but also from the time when I did cadets compared to the program that my sister told me, even 6 years ago, I was like, maybe I should start doing this. I need volunteer hours for job applications, this, that, and everything. And I was like, man, I'd love to do all this. And she was like, yeah, no, they took all that away. And I'm like,
Oh,
what do you mean you
bummer.
took that all away? Like that was 90% of the fun of being a cadet. I'm not saying you shouldn't put your kids in cadets. It is a good thing. It teaches them structure. It teaches them do this, do that, respect your elders, this, that. Hopefully you don't end up in a place where there's a bunch of assholes, but it's a fantastic program. I have never gone to Germany for free and also gotten paid to go, except for in cadets. So, I mean, I got that going for it, but yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say I heard that major component shooting in general is mostly not part of cadets anymore.
I I will inquire, but I'm curious because there's this basic marksman, which is a 3-week course. So they have 3 weeks, 3 weeks. So they have 2 3-week courses. I think there's 240 people per thing. Top 120 get re-invited to the 6-week program, and then the top 80 get invited back, and then the top 6 to 10, if I remember correctly, get invited, and like they flat out go to business as like 16,
I'd go to
17 year olds.
Bisley.
I would
16,
go to
17
Bisley
year
for
olds
sure.
doing shooting competitions.
Not
Go
for tier,
to
maybe
Bisley.
for F class, maybe.
I don't even know what that means.
F class is basically like bullseye shooting at like they usually I think it's 3, 6,
1,000.
and 1,000 yards. Yeah.
They go back
And
to
like-
1,000.
Yeah, and we're talking like what is it like it's half MOA for the it's half MOA, so like a 1,000 yards. It's small. It's like a 2-inch circle or a 3-inch circle at 1,000 yards for like the X. Yeah, it's tough. It's crazy. We're talking. You need an accurate gun if you want to see somebody who shoots F class caliber type stuff and want to learn a lot about long range shooting. Check out Eric Cortina on YouTube. That's what he does primarily.
Send me the link. I'll check it out.
Put it in the show notes. Let the listeners check it out.
I am
Alright.
a listener.
Sure,
I
I'll
don't
find it
listen
right
to
now.
shows if I'm on the show.
I don't either. I'm just being a dick.
No, but for all of the other,
Yeah.
No,
For the
100%.
listeners.
It's something well worth it. If you've got kids, I mean, I plan on putting my daughter in that for at least a year. She's almost there because kids grow up so quick, but
It's true.
Yeah. It's a program. That's a whole side rant. You can reach me to get info about that.
Sweet. Okay, well, you guys should definitely let me know when there's some events.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Benny, I
Same.
can't go to yours, but sorry.
can I go to yours, Benny?
Yeah.
I'm hanging with the
Will-
bitches. That's what I told Benny. I could.
would
yeah.
be-
Will a lot
We'd
of
be honored.
people give me advice on how to do better?
Heck no, you'll be giving out the advice. I was gonna say it's actually the perfect
Mm.
opportunity for people to come.
When is this?
But it's
I'm not
November
giving out
20th.
unsolicited advice for free.
It's more of a
It's
It's more of
unfortunately
a-
the same weekend that Liz is doing her thing, but I believe it's on the next day, the 20th.
So can I go give Liz unsolicited advice?
Sure. You can
Probably.
give anyone
You-
unsolicited advice.
There might be a
That's the
pheasant
unsolicited
hunting
part of it.
accident on the 19th.
Liz may be armed, so just
Yeah.
be warned.
Kidding. No, honestly though, my buddy said that I can invite whoever would like to. So
Sweet.
he's got the dog. That's the gig. He's got the dog.
Yeah, the dog. I've been pheasant hunting before, and the dog is key. A good
Yeah.
dog. The dog makes
Yeah.
or breaks it.
Well, his dog does like field trials and stuff like that, and tends to come home with a couple of awards. So
Awards, so yeah, he's
yeah.
profesh.
he
Nice.
is professional. He happens to be a dog trainer, so you know,
That's
Yeah.
convenient, yeah.
yeah,
Sweet.
super helpful.
It's awesome.
Anyone can claim anything on the internet. Look at me.
You get kicked off the internet. You don't claim much on there.
I've claimed things.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or is it
Well, Club
proclaimed things? I think we've proclaimed things
Yeah,
on
you've
the
definitely
internet.
done that too.
I mean, I've probably done that. That sounds like a reasonable thing. The upside, I think I fixed all my weird like video issues except for this one shadow I can't seem to get rid of.
With shadows.
Oh
at.
yeah, there is a shadow. But that's
And
your
the
mic
baldness,
shadow.
But the baldness I can't help. That's,
I was gonna say just
Yeah.
own it, man.
I say you
I
haven't
don't
lagged
think
in ages.
anything.
What did you do? Just
I don't-
like turn it off and on again?
yeah. Basically, I found a bunch of stuff was using like several gigabytes of RAM while it wasn't doing anything. So I
Oh,
just
jeez. Sounds
I
like you just
fixed
need to
it.
build a new computer. But yeah.
I'm having problems. While I've got a bunch of tech people on the line, I have a bunch of problems with my phone having really slow processing. It's a brand new phone.
That's the government. Just
yeah, we're definitely doing that in the after show. We're not doing that live. We're not doing
Yeah.
live tech support. People will.
I'm just satisfied that you're gonna do tech
You
support.
may get more Patreons. Just
There,
saying.
there are definitely a slew of people in other parts of the world that will give you live tech support.
Yes, I mean they may
Will
worship
For
you
November.
understand what they're
feet,
saying?
but sorry.
For November's book club, we're doing A Soldier First by Rick Hillier. And I have a copy of the book. So I'm in the same shape that I was in last month. We'll see if I read it this time.
December's
is
book
it?
will
Sorry?
be the IT manual that all the people overseas that do tech support have to read.
Oh,
PC load letter.
Just
What the
kidding.
fuck does that
Totally.
mean?
Yeah.
totally unrelated. Did anybody watch V for Vendetta last week? or
No,
this
I
week?
meant to, but I
I
had other
fucking know
things.
that movie.
Were you just watching it because Natalie Portman's in it, Benny?
No, because it's got like really good lines and it's cool. What does Natalie Portman got to do with anything?
I mean,
Jewish?
she's
I
in the
don't know,
movie.
she's
I thought she was in the
Jewish.
tribe.
Yeah, but just because you tick a box doesn't mean I'm gonna watch your stuff.
I mean, she ticks a couple boxes. I'd
Ticks
give
more
her
than a few
unsolicited
boxes.
advice.
Yeah, 100%.
That's so cringy.
Nah,
That's the new saying. It's been coined.
Which part?
It just
Uh, the-
really gives me the heebie-jeebies when you say it.
The unsolicited advice.
Well,
At least it's
you'll
only
be,
advice. Yeah.
you'll
at
be
least
happy
it's
to
not a
know
dick
that the only
Unsolicited
person
dick
that I
pics.
gave unsolicited advice to on the weekend at the match was Eric, our friend Eric, that everybody
Oh,
knows.
I do know Eric. I actually hung
Yeah.
out with his daughter this weekend.
Oh, I hung out with him and I told him to change his mags around because they were offensive.
That's okay.
Okay.
I gave him solicited advice. He asked me what sling I was running.
Ah,
Oh.
okay.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I just need overall support, maybe in the whole gun area. So I'm asking for
A belt
advice.
and suspenders.
It's
You don't have to do
Yeah.
overalls.
No longer.
You just need to
unsolicited.
go
Was
to
it
the
a
gun
scout
range when all
sling?
the boomers are there. You got all the
We'll
support you need.
yeah. We'll have a fun day playing guns sometime for all the
Yes,
panelists.
please.
Hey, don't
Please,
forget
please.
about me, just because I don't
Alright.
live close.
We'll let you
You're
know
on
when
the
it is.
panel.
We'll let you
Yeah.
know.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to come and get yourself unsolicited advice, we have a feedback and contempt section on Gilded. We're using Gilded, not Discord. Go to Gilded, use the Gilded. Other Andrew set that all up and moderates that. And also, if you do dumb things, he'll remove you and drop the ban hammer and so on.
I don't
Shall
want
we go
to
around?
sign up for a new thing.
Well,
Sorry.
that's on you. So if you want to talk to Benny, you have to do that somewhere else. Benny, where can everyone find you?
You can email me at benny@bennyloose.ca or visit my website, thepatcanada.ca.
Dave, where can everybody find you? Say they wanted to get unsolicited advice about a shooting match.
You can find me on Facebook or the IGs at Diesel6223 on IG. And then on Facebook, you kind of got to be my friend or no friend. But
Why
yeah,
would
IG
you
is probably
advertise it?
IG is probably the best way. And
Yeah,
then
why are you? What if they wanted to get into like a shooting sport that you run in the province of Ontario as a provincial level match director?
then you would email oraprecision@gmail.com.
There you go. Look at that. People can get in touch with you
Yeah.
about shooting guns that are things that are far away.
Yeah, and we will links up.
Yeah. It could be
Unsolicited
part of
advice
your
or
training,
solicited.
for getting out to the UK and shooting it Bisley.
It's
Meet
true.
Dave, and then maybe you can go.
Get you
I'm
on your way.
going to Scotland in 2024. So
Guess we're going to Bisley.
yep.
All right.
Do you need unsolicited advice?
What about unsolicited Scotsman?
You want unsolicited pics? You let me know, buddy.
No, I'm all
Yeah,
I'm all
We're
set.
good. But like, if he lets you know, then they're solicited. So you have to just send them. That's what makes them unsolicited.
Apologies.
That's-
Thank you. Disregard my last comment.
Yep, fair enough. Gavin, where can everyone find you?
When I'm not hanging out on the range with some of the panelists and listeners, you can find me on Instagram, UrbexGTA.
All right, Pierre, how about you?
Off the wall customizing at Gmail, TikTok, a bunch of Instagrams. I don't know, social media stuff. Occasionally, recently, I've been on the other CPP, which was Sunday nights at 9 on YouTube and Facebooks. I guess it's becoming a regular thing. I don't know, but definitely Mondays every night.
Oh yeah, Pierre, your the sweatshirt you made my wife got a lot of comments the other day, and
Yeah?
the sweatshirt you made me got a lot of comments a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Good comments.
good comments. Good comments.
Okay.
I don't need to
Say.
know if they were good or bad. Comments is comments.
Yeah.
Good.
All
good-
press
any
is
PR
good press.
Yeah, all press is good. Exactly.
Nice. No, everything. Yeah, happy I could help with that, buddy.
Yeah, good stuff.
Liz, if people want to send you unsolicited advice or anything else unsolicited,
I'm not giving out my information tonight. Thanks.
So much unsolicited advice, dick pics, and everything.
Before she said, "Never mind."
You don't want that on air, Maddie.
so remember, if you
No.
want to become a Patreon, you can give us $1 a month on Patreon, and if you want to, if you don't want to receive dick pics, you can give us $5 a month on Patreon.
$5 it's worth it.
That's right. It just depends. Do you want unsolicited advice or not? If you'd like to send us feedback, the best thing to do is email us feedback at CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. And if you've listened to all of this, I have one more piece of unsolicited advice. If you're shopping at Ragnarok Tactical, use the discount code Patriot at checkout. Save yourself some money. And Canada Post jacked their rates. I really am actually going to have to fix the shipping rates because I am not maintaining profit right now, and it is not going well. The unsolicited advice I received from the accountant was that I needed to fix that. So
Ooh, fun.
our
Pretty sure
shipping
you're
rates,
gonna pay for that. It's solicited.
well, our shipping rates will be going up to be more in line with the current Canada Post prices, because I haven't touched the shipping rates since before the pandemic, possibly ever. I may never have actually touched the shipping rates before, and they've gone up a lot recently.
We should ask government to fix. Sorry, no, doesn't make sense.
At least
was a
you're
good
still
try, though.
self-censoring. You're still
was
in
a
a good
good try.
spot here.
For all of our
Amazon link.
listeners out. Oh, Amazon link, right? If you're shopping on Jeff Bezos's penis rocket website, you can use our affiliate link. It's on every episode on the website.
And
I
buy
have
the
it
book
bookmarked.
for this month's book club
It's true.
through that link.
The book is probably the easiest way to get the link to the Amazon, and then we get a tiny piece of a penis rocket.
We get just the tip of Jeff
Just the
Bezos.
tip.
Tip.
I feel like there's a rabbi joke in there somewhere, but I'm trying to restrain myself, Benny.
The internet thanks you.
For all of our listeners out there in podcast land, I don't remember what the current phrase is, and I closed the window. So you're the
So-
true north, strong and free.
The unacceptable fringe minority.
I'm pretty sure Dave's making things up. That is not it.
I still have the show notes up.
So did Rod show up?
Yeah, remember, you are a small fringe minority with unacceptable views. That's the exact.
Yeah, I knew
line.
that wasn't right.
It was close. It was paraphrased, obviously.
Obviously. All right. That's enough unsolicited advice. I'm turning this off. Good night, Internet.